Hi guys, okay, it's another one of my reviews, my second review, so please go easy on me. I reviewed the three-legged thing Viv yesterday, which I'd explained that I got it because I've gone to mirrorless now. So, what I've done today is I've got a new bag to review. It's the Tenba Switch 10. So let me show you what I used to use first before I show you the new bag. So, this is what I used to use. This is the Low Pro Slingshot 100 AW, and the idea about this one is that when you're wearing it, it's nice and empty at the moment, it's cross, it's not too bad, and then you can swing it around. There's little zips on here and you can get into your equipment, and that's great. However, what I'm about to do is I'm about to buy myself a 70 to 200 mil Sony lens. And the problem with this is, it won't fit full stop. I've measured it, it's just not going to happen. It's 175 centimetres by 10 centimetres wide with the lens hood inverted, and it's just not going to happen in this. And the other side of the other day I was taking pictures and I had this and my bag with me, and trying to change lens while you're on the fly was a little bit frustrating, because I thought actually it wouldn't have been nice if everything was laid out in front of me and the workflow worked a bit better. So that'll put a nail in the coffin of the Low Pro, which has been a very useful device for me for the last 6-7 years. I bought this when I got my Canon 450D, and now that I've sold all of my Canon equipment and I've moved on to mirrorless, I've moved on. So if I show you the replacement, this is it. So this is the Tenba Switch 10. So, okay, it's not as small as I thought it would be, to be fair, but workflow wise works a hell of a lot better. I'll show you inside and everything else in a second. Let me just show you what it looks like on. So if you think I'm 6'2", this is the sort of height you're getting. You can obviously carry it behind you. These straps do go longer. I could put it over cross should I want to. The benefit of this one is I've got a little zip right on the top and I can access my camera very quickly. So I can be taking pictures out in public, pop that back in there, and it's nice and secure. What I also like is I'm right-handed, and this zip is now at the front, which means I can keep an eye on it at all times. So I think the best thing to do is if we move on to the table and we take a look at the inside. Okay, so here's the bag laid out. So if I just show you the external of it first. So as I say, the actual cover itself is sort of a faux, they call it faux leather. It does feel a little bit weird. It's obviously nylon-y, plasticky. They've put in these little grain bits to give it a leather-like appearance. But you can change this. If I show you here, there's a little zip just on the back, and the whole case does come off. So what you could do then is you can buy red ones, you can buy camouflage ones and everything else. And this just comes with little rain flaps on the side of it, which I will show you when it's zipped back on. And obviously these zip at the top for access into the main panel. Now this is quite cool because it means I've seen other people review this bag and they've said they actually use this as a camera insert in a bigger bag, which is quite handy if that's what you want to do. We'll just zip that back on there. So, you might have heard that then. I'm just going to get lower so this is easier to do. There we go. So you might have heard that then. This is actually magnetic closure. I don't know if you can see just these little squares here, which is quite nice. It means you've not got that Velcro rip that you get in other bags. Obviously my existing bag never had that anyway. You also have these little YKK snappers just in here that you can clip on there just to make it a little bit more secure. Okay, so let's show you the back actually before we start delving into the front. So on the back you can just see the zip here, which is the one that you use to take the entire flap off. Obviously it'd be best if you fold that in rather than folding it out, but that's fine, just looks neater. What you have here is a pocket that on the Tenba Switch 10 at least will hold a full-size iPad. Not massively padded, but I think it would survive. Actually, I'll be getting a Samsung Galaxy Tab S2 anyway at some point, so that'll go in here, and you can see obviously the branding, designed in New York, and Switch 10. Now the differences between these, you've got the Switch 10, the Switch 8, and the Switch something else. I forget what the other one is. The base model, I think it might be a 7, is designed for basically a mirrorless camera and probably 2 to 3 lenses. And that's about it. When you move up to the Switch 8 and the Switch 10, you get extra features. The Switch 8 will take an iPad mini in the back and is designed for mirrorless cameras with 3 to 5 lenses. Once you get up to the 10, then it's big enough to carry a full-size iPad in the back. And actually, there's enough space in there, really, that you could probably have the keyboard cover on there at the same time. But then this will take a mirrorless camera with 3 to 5 lenses or a DSLR with 2 to 3 lenses, including a 70 to 200 f2.8, which that's basically a beer can. That's a huge lens. I've got this one because I'm going to be getting the 70 to 200, so it needs that extra space in there. So if we just zip that up like that. So going into the bag, say once you've got past the clips or the magnetic bits, on the sides you've got these little straps to enable you to attach extra things. So I believe they make a little battery case or a little no, it's a battery case, sorry, yeah, you can probably get other bits and pieces as well. The only thing I'd say is this cover is water treated. So it is water resistant, hence the reason you have these little, sorry I forgot to show you this, these little tabs that just flip out over the side just in case there's a sprinkling of water, just to stop water getting in there. But the only thing is if you put things on the side, I wonder whether they would be waterproof. They're not going to be covered by anything, so it's just something to bear in mind. You've got nice big stretchy pockets in there. I did try earlier, you can get a good 500ml bottle of water in there without a problem. The strap itself is fixed, you can't take it off. It's not unclippable, but that's not a problem. It's made from seatbelt material, which probably means it's very good and very strong, but does feel a little bit weird because it's kind of seatbelt material, but that's fine, it'll do the job. Someone on another review did like to point out that the strap actually goes all the way underneath and pops out the bottom. Just here, that's fine, but again, you are still limited by this plastic bit here, ultimately. The bottom, they do say, is a waterproof, dirt-proof membrane. Again, you've got the strap on it, so I don't think that's going to be as waterproof or anything else. You also have these little loops here, and there's 2 Hyperlon straps in there, so you can attach a tripod, and I'll show you that later. Because part of buying this and part of buying the 3-legged thing, Viv, was that it was a mirrorless setup. Moving into this pocket here, just because there's nothing in it, all I've got is a couple of screen wipes and the receipt, because I've still got the original receipt for my other bag and I just thought it'd be quite cool. But actually I'll probably put a camera book in there or something. You don't want to overload that too much because it's going to impact on the main compartment. Excuse me. So I do apologise for coughing in this video and the last one. I'm a bit ill at the moment. So if we open this pocket here right at the front, just to show you what I've put in here for the time being. There we are, that's better. There is actually a waterproof cover that comes in this, a weather wrap. It's actually black on one side and silver on the other, so the theory is it's black for stealth and silver if you want to reflect heat. Now actually that's quite a nice thing. We went to Zimbabwe this year and it was extraordinarily hot, and it would have been nice to have something to keep the camera equipment cool and waterproof. It turned out that the LowPro does have a waterproof cover and I just completely forgot to use it, but there we go. So when you're visiting the Victoria Falls, absolutely spectacular. I'd recommend anybody go there. It's not like the news would have you believe. It's a beautiful place, wonderful people, but yes, you get very wet when you're down in the falls. So anyway, so I've got the bag in there. You've also got these 2 loops that, as I say, they will go on the bottom. I'm going to leave these out so that I can show you how to attach the tripod later on. You've got these little spongy pockets in here. Now I've just got some batteries and a card reader in this one. Whoops. So that's actually for my video camera that I'm currently using. That's for my camera. Because at the moment I've worked out that both my camera and video camera can fit in this, which is good. Here I've just got a couple of cables. Now there's nothing else in here. I think that's probably a missed opportunity to maybe put some card holders in here. I've actually just got a memory card tucked in this this ID slot. It would have been nice to have something there. Peak Design, I don't know if you've seen their Everyday Messenger bag recently, but they have a workflow in here with green and red to show depleted batteries and full memory cards, and then green for where you put your new batteries and your your empty cards. You do get a little D-ring up here. Now this is designed to clip their own card reader on. I must admit I'm half tempted now. And this is a little clip for your keys. So you can attach a key chain on there so you don't lose anything. So that's that. Moving on to the actual main compartment, what I've got in here is I've got my A6000 just bundled in there. I'm going to drop this somewhere if I'm not careful, so let's just put that there. I've got my video camera, which I'm currently using, but that's the waterproof case for it because it's a waterproof video camera. So the idea is if I jump in the water with it, I'd like to be able to put it in here and it'd be dry. So that's fine. Just down the bottom of here, I've got my kit lens, which to be honest, ever since I bought the Zeiss, I've just never used this, but you never know. I think if you're going out on a night out, it's quite handy to stick on the camera, and it's very, very small. That's fine. I don't know if you'll be able to see this. Let me try and bring it up to the camera a bit more. This is quite a cool little thing that I haven't seen in other bags. It's attached to one side. It's just a little flap. So the whole point of that, same with this one, I've got the camera in here. When I flip that up, I've got my 50mm prime underneath. And it's just nice that it just separates the two things so that it's not going to bash it up or anything. This is completely empty because I'm trying to keep space for my 70 to 200, which is basically going to be the entire length. Well, this is 22 centimeters deep. That lens is 175, so it's entirely possible to put a USB battery at the bottom of it, but other than that, that's going to be just for the lens. Now, apologies for the fact that it's not straight. I've only just got this bag today and I'm trying to set the thing up. And that's one thing I would say is as you're pulling these, they do have this nice, I think they call it trico or something. It's very soft, but it does sort of, I don't know if you can see that, bends away from the lining of the bag. So I'm just getting used to that. The other thing is, obviously, with the camera being slightly longer at the sides, I just have to lean one of these slightly so it has somewhere to go. You've also got on the sides here, on both sides, just a little area for I don't know, a camera lens cap or something. You've also got this tiny little loop. I assume that's for a pen, quite frankly. But other than that, that's your Switch 10 bag. I think we've gone through every functionality on there. So let me load it up and I'll show you the tripod. Okay, so if you see here, you just have to put these straps straight through. Nearly lost one then. So as I say, I've just got a little logo on them. Rip open. It's just Velcro anyway. Soft end through first. That's just going to work a hell of a lot easier. Now, this was the Viv tripod that I got. Now, as I say, I got this specifically because it is only 34 centimeters long. This bag is 30 centimeters long at the bottom. So actually, if I just turn this upside down, hoping you can see this, we just, there we go, Velcro on there and Velcro on there. It's not perfect, but as I say, it's just for a review. But as you can see, that hangs on there quite nicely. Now the only problem with this would be, as you say, you can't put the bag down because it's just going to rock. But actually I like the fact that I can carry it with me anywhere I'm going, which is quite a nice thing to do and to have. I mean, sorry, we jumped for a second there. The only other thing I'd want to say is, to be fair, this was the only bag that I could find that was designed for mirrorless. And Tenba are very clear that this has been designed from the ground up for mirrorless cameras. It just so happens that this is big enough for a DSLR, but it's the only one that has these straps on it. There's the Think Tank Mirrorless Mover 30i, which is a good enough bag, and it's half the price as well. It has to be said, that's a great price point. It's £50, but it doesn't have these straps. And I'm not saying I'm paying £45 extra for these straps. I'm not. I like the design of this, the style, the quality. The Mirrorless Mover has a really weird way of opening on the top, the way the zip goes around. This has the quick access just through here, which is a hell of a lot easier to get hold of your camera. But it is the only one that has the straps for the tripod on there. Now granted, I think the bag weighs 0.9 of a kilogram. This weighs 1.6 kilogram once you add in the, I think I worked out when I was working out the load capacity for that, the A6000 and the 70-200 is 1.1 kilograms. You know, you're starting to carry a good 5-6 kilograms around with you. You've got to ask the question for your own personal use, whether or not you'd be better with a backpack. For me, honestly, there's not too much more going to fit in here. I might want a 10 to 18 next year. I'll probably want a flash at some point. But I want to have bags that I can roam around with. So if I need to get a backpack to accommodate all my equipment, so be it. This is my nice day pack, and I've got a very, very small little Manfrotto that I got free with the camera that basically takes the camera and one lens and a spare battery. But actually, for a night out, if you just want to be walking around with a single camera with you, it's a very nice thing to have hold of. So as I say, that's it when it's on. It's now fully loaded. It's got the tripod on there. I've just popped open the YKK poppers. It's not the most secure thing in the world, but it's better than nothing. It's going to stop the most prying hands disappearing in there, and it's quite tight at the top anyway. One thing I didn't show you was on the strap. Just the other side of it, it does have kind of a grippy rubber, so that's not really going anywhere when it's on my shoulder. I was worried that it would just slip and disappear. But yeah, so all in all, I'm quite happy with that. That's the sort of size that I can happily travel with. I like the fact I've got the tripod on the bottom of it and it's not extending too far out either side. I'm more than happy with my A6000. Everything about this as a mirrorless setup is fantastic. If you think I'm going to have that beautiful zoom lens shortly when I pick that up from Hong Kong, a nice Japanese grey market one, so it's about half the price of the UK, but it's worth doing. So I'm going to have that in there. I'm going to have that beautiful Zeiss lens. I've got a tripod that I can carry around with me. I've got it all in a bag that's nice and contained and waterproof. Actually, this works perfect. So for my needs, for what I wanted to do with photography, this is it. The bag itself, you can't get hold of it in the UK apart from one company that I've found so far called PhotoSense. I can put the link down the bottom, somewhere down there, that's fine. To be honest, what I would do is go through Top Cashback first. You do get a couple of quid by doing it that way. It's a £95 bag that covers themselves at £20 each. Personally, I prefer it being black because it's going to be a lot more stealthy as I'm travelling around. To be fair, thefts in Hong Kong and Japan, not really that bad, not compared with London, but even so, I'd like it to be nice and stealthy. So if you've got any questions on the bag, if you want to know anything more about the tripod, you can have a look at my previous video. Again, as before, if you can give a thumbs up, that helps the video get near the top so more people will see it. Feel free to subscribe. This is video number 2. I will do my best to put a video number 3 up at some point shortly. Probably when I've come back from Hong Kong, to be honest, and I can show you how it went with the 70-200, because that's a lens that isn't really reviewed much on YouTube, so it'd be good to get something on there. Any questions, drop me a line. But anyway, thanks for your time.